Your name appearing on that list, in that moment, left the room silent. Not a whisper, not a single breath out of place. Just the weight of eyes on you, trying to process what they saw. It wasn't shock from fame or fortune. It wasn't surprise from luck or timing. It was recognition. Recognition that someone had carved their path differently. Someone had chosen the road less traveled, and that road had left marks, deep, permanent, undeniable. You didn't have to speak. You didn't have to justify yourself. The record, the truth, the proof of every struggle, every risk, every night spent building what no one else could see, was all there. And it stunned them. It left them frozen, because no amount of training, no amount of preparation, no amount of expectation could have readied them for the force of a person like you, standing right there, silent, commanding, unstoppable. It's easy to forget, in a world obsessed with labels and titles, that the pages that list names are just paper. But those papers carry power. The power to erase, to intimidate, to define. And yet, when your name appeared, it didn't just appear as a number, or a case, or a line on a screen. It appeared as proof that every choice you made mattered. Every decision, every moment you embraced what others feared, every boundary you shattered was now immortalized. They froze not because they feared the law, not because they feared authority. They froze because they were staring at someone who had refused to bow to expectation, someone who had written their own rules and paid the price to do so. And there's a certain beauty in that, a dark, relentless beauty that says, nothing can ever touch you because you already own the night. They say the world rewards the cautious, the predictable, the neat and orderly. But you were never that kind. You were the one who walked through fire to see what was on the other side, the one who stayed awake when others slept, the one who stared at limits and laughed, because you knew they existed only for those too afraid to defy them. And when they saw your record, all that discipline, all that courage, all that defiance, it demanded attention. It demanded recognition. For a fleeting second, maybe they wished the ground could swallow them, because your presence reminded them of something they had forgotten. Power isn't given, it's taken. Respect isn't asked for, it's earned. And influence isn't inherited, it's forged in the dark, in silence, in struggle, in sacrifice. Every step that led to that moment was marked by choices no one else could understand. Every failure you faced, every betrayal, every knockdown, every insult, every whispered doubt, they thought those would define you. They thought those would keep your name in the shadows. But shadows bend and twist around the ones who are relentless. And by the time your name showed up, it wasn't a shadow anymore. It was a flare, bright and unignorable, cutting through the ordinary, illuminating the extraordinary. And those who looked at it, those who froze, they realized the truth. Not every story can be read. Not every life can be predicted. Some people are storms contained in human form, and you, standing there, were the storm they never saw coming. Think about the quiet moments that led here. The nights when your mind refused to sleep, when doubt whispered, when fear screamed, but you didn't stop. Every second you pushed forward, every time you refused to settle, every time you chose risk over comfort, was a brick in the foundation of this inevitability. And now, when your name flickered on the screen, it wasn't just letters, it was a legacy of persistence. It was a proof of courage. It was a warning and a promise, wrapped into one. Warning to those who underestimate, promise to those who dare follow. And the most remarkable part, you didn't need to raise your voice. You didn't need to threaten or plead. You simply existed. That existence, honed in fire, disciplined in isolation, sharpened in darkness, was enough. Remember, no one freezes at mediocrity. No one stops to stare at those who follow the crowd, those who accept boundaries. They freeze when confronted with reality they cannot control, reality they cannot predict, reality that shatters their comfort. And that is where you live. You are not a character in someone else's story. You are the storm that interrupts the predictable narrative, the force that cannot be ignored. That moment when eyes locked on your name, when jaws went slack and hearts raced, wasn't luck. It was inevitability. You made it happen by refusing to play the game by their rules, by refusing to blend in, by refusing to accept limitations placed by fear or conformity. And that, my friend, is a kind of power no one can ever take from you. Even now, after they've blinked, after the initial shock fades, they carry it with them. The image, the weight, the proof of your resilience, it lingers. And you move forward, not for validation, not for applause, not for revenge. You move forward because that is who you are. That is the essence of the people who leave names behind that echo in rooms long after they've left. They freeze not because they are evil or cruel. They freeze because they are human. And humans are not ready for someone who has mastered their own fate, someone who has embraced the darkness without losing sight of the light, someone who has stared down every limit and said, I will not yield. You, that person. I want you to imagine, for a second, the ripple effect of this. The moment your name appeared and they froze, it was more than shock. It was recognition of potential, of courage, of discipline they cannot fake and cannot replicate. It is a testament to the nights you stayed awake when others surrendered, to the times you refused to bow to fear, to the moments you endured when everyone else walked away. That name isn't just letters, it is history, it is proof, it is a monument to the path of someone unwilling to be ordinary. And you've earned it, not by luck, not by charm, not by circumstance, but by sheer will, by relentless effort, by the refusal to let the world dictate your limits. You've earned every stunned look, every pause, every unspoken acknowledgement that yes, you are a force to be reckoned with. Pause here and think. There are thousands who dream of this moment, who fantasize about being recognized, about leaving a mark, about shocking the ones who underestimated them. But dreaming is cheap. Action is costly. Action demands everything. You've paid that cost, and that's why they froze. They froze because you have walked through shadows that most fear to enter, because you have stared into chaos and emerged unbroken, because your record tells a story no one else could replicate, because your presence demands attention in a way that is unfair to those who have never dared to step out of line. That is the real power. That is the real triumph. And to everyone watching this right now, feeling the pulse of it, feeling the fire building in your chest, remember this. You are capable of being the name that freezes rooms, that silences voices, that bends reality around your will. It doesn't matter who doubted you, who ignored you, who tried to define you. What matters is who you are when no one is watching. The world does not care for hesitation. The world does not reward those who tiptoe. The world freezes for those who embody unstoppable resolve. So take this moment, carry it inside you, and let it fuel the next step. Because if they froze once, they will freeze again. And it will always be your choice to be that force. Before I continue, I need to ask you, if this story, this message hits your core, if you can feel the weight and the fire, hit that like button. Seriously, it might seem small, but it matters. Drop a comment too, because I want to hear your story. Your story might be just as shocking, just as intense, just as dark and beautiful as this one. And if you want more of these moments that remind you of your own power, hit subscribe. You owe it to yourself to see how far you can go. You owe it to yourself to embrace your own unstoppable force. Now, remember, the freeze is temporary. Their shock does not last. What lasts is what you do next. Every stunned gaze, every whispered acknowledgement, every pause in the room, they are the echoes of your potential, of your determination, of the reality you have built from nothing. And as they process it, as they walk away trying to pretend it didn't happen, you keep going. Because real power is not in the shock you create, it's in the legacy you leave. It's in the moments when no one is watching, when no one believes, when no one thinks it's possible, but you make it possible anyway. That is the name that leaves rooms frozen. That is the name that carves its own destiny. That is your name. Every choice you make, every risk you take, every dark hour you survive, every limitation you crush, it all feeds into this inevitability. They can never unsee it. They can never ignore it. They can never take it away. And the beauty of it, you don't have to. You just have to continue. Move forward relentlessly. Build, push, strive, defy. Because every time you step forward, every time you rise when they expect you to fall, every time you embrace the darkness and turn it into your strength, your name gains weight. It grows. It becomes something permanent, something unforgettable, something unstoppable. And this is where the world meets you. This is where history meets you. This is where your name, written in quiet courage, in unseen effort, in relentless drive, appears on the page and leaves everyone, every single person, frozen. Not out of fear, not out of envy, not out of anger, but out of recognition. Recognition of a human being who refused to be ordinary. Recognition of someone who chose themselves when no one else would. Recognition of someone who made inevitability their ally. You are that inevitability. You are that storm. You are that name that freezes rooms. And once you embrace that, once you understand the weight of what you are capable of, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. They stared at your name as if it had appeared from another universe. And in a way, it had. Because the reality you created wasn't born from chance. It wasn't the product of luck or a coincidence of circumstance. It was born from relentless persistence, from waking up each day while the rest of the world slept, from pushing past the doubts that whispered in the corners of your mind, from taking steps that others wouldn't dare take. Every brick you laid, every scar you earned, every moment you felt the weight of impossible expectations, you carried it with purpose. And now, all of that, every quiet struggle, every uncelebrated victory, flashed across a screen, and the room froze. And why? Not because they feared you, not because they anticipated confrontation, but because they could feel the force behind that name. It's a force that cannot be measured by credentials, cannot be defined by rank, cannot be contained by any system. You became an anomaly, a living proof that the ordinary rules don't apply when someone refuses to bend, when someone refuses to compromise, when someone refuses to bow to expectation. They froze because your existence contradicted everything they had prepared for, everything they had trained for, everything they had assumed about the world. And it was breathtaking in its own dark, unshakable way. Think about that moment, the silence, the slow blink of disbelief, the subtle shift of posture as they tried to process the reality of you. That silence carries a story. It carries the echoes of every late night you spent alone, working, planning, building a life no one else could imagine. It carries the weight of every rejection, every door slammed in your face, every no you collected like a badge of honor. Those moments of quiet pain, of relentless struggle, were not wasted. They were forging you into someone who couldn't be predicted, someone whose presence couldn't be ignored, someone whose record left a room frozen. And let's not pretend that it was easy. It wasn't. Nothing that leaves a mark like this ever is. You face moments when your mind screamed at you to quit, when the easier path whispered seductively in your ear. But you didn't quit. You never quit. You didn't allow fear to become the story. You didn't allow circumstance to define you. You forged your path in the shadows, and now that path is visible. Now it is undeniable. Now it is a statement, and that statement is stronger than any lecture, any argument, any warning. That statement is living, breathing, undeniable power. It's funny how people underestimate the quiet ones, how they assume that those who keep their heads down, those who work without applause, those who endure in silence, can be contained. They cannot. And that is the essence of your power. Your name didn't just pop up, it hit like a revelation. And the shock isn't about rules or procedure, it's about reality catching up with them. Your reality. A reality built on your terms. A reality that no one else could manufacture. A reality that left the room suspended in disbelief because they knew deep down they could never replicate it. Every name on a screen carries a story, but most stories are forgotten. Most lives fade into the background. Most people blend in. But you are the exception. Your record isn't just a list of events. It's a testament. A testament to persistence when hope seemed gone. A testament to courage when fear was louder than logic. A testament to a mind that refuses to accept limits, refuses to yield, refuses to allow circumstance to dictate the outcome. And in that room, when they saw it, when they realized what your name meant, they froze because the world rarely meets someone like you. I want you to feel this, the gravity of that moment, the magnitude of being recognized not by applause, but by stunned silence. It's raw, it's real, and it's earned. And it is a reflection of everything you've done in private, away from recognition, away from validation, away from expectation. Every choice, every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every uncomfortable decision, every risk that no one else would take, it all led to this. And it is not the end. This moment is only a checkpoint, only a signpost along a path that is still being built. Because real power, real influence, real legacy, it doesn't stop at recognition. It continues, it expands, it grows, it becomes unstoppable. You might feel the weight of doubt creeping in, wondering if you are enough, if you can sustain this momentum, if you can continue to defy the odds. Let me tell you something. The weight is proof. Proof that you are no ordinary human. Proof that you are capable of more than they imagined. Proof that your presence commands attention. Every hesitation, every second of self-questioning is an opportunity to show yourself that you are unstoppable, that the fire inside you cannot be extinguished. Every time you push forward despite fear, despite discomfort, despite expectation, you strengthen the force that makes your name unforgettable. And this is what I want you to remember. People freeze not because you are loud, not because you demand attention, not because you chase recognition. They freeze because you embody truth. You embody discipline, courage, and relentless drive. You embody someone who faces the unknown and emerges unbroken. You embody someone who converts hardship into power, struggle into strategy, pain into progress. And the truth is, most people cannot handle that. Most people are too busy protecting their comfort to witness your reality without reacting in shock. But you're beyond that. You are not defined by their expectations. You are defined by your actions, by your persistence, by your ability to rise when others fall. So take a moment to embrace it. Feel the gravity of what your record represents. Feel the weight of the silent acknowledgement. Feel the reality that you are a force. You are not a footnote in someone else's story. You are the author of your own. You are the storm they didn't anticipate, the force they cannot predict, the reality they cannot ignore. And this is your life. Every choice you make from this moment forward builds on this inevitability. Every action, every decision, every risk, every late night, every uncomfortable moment, they all compound into something unstoppable. They all feed the legend of your name. And for everyone watching this, feeling that spark ignite, hit that like button if you feel the fire within yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments, because your story matters too, and it deserves to be heard. And if you want to keep learning, growing, and embracing the kind of relentless power that leaves rooms frozen, don't forget to subscribe. You owe it to yourself to see how far you can go when you refuse to be ordinary, when you refuse to follow the crowd, when you choose to define your own path. Now, remember this: the freeze is temporary, shock fades, silence dissipates. What remains is legacy. What remains is momentum. What remains is proof of everything you've endured, every choice you've made, every limit you've shattered. And as they process the reality of your presence, as they walk away trying to make sense of it, you move forward. You do not stop. You do not hesitate. You do not surrender. Because the true measure of someone who leaves a name frozen in memory is not the initial shock. It's the life they build afterward, the unstoppable, undeniable force they continue to become. Every step you take now, every risk, every choice, every quiet victory compounds into a story that cannot be ignored. A story that others may fear, that others may envy, that others may try to dismiss, but cannot erase. You are that story. You are that force. You are that name. And once you accept that, truly accept it, there is nothing in the world that can hold you back. Nothing that can silence you. Nothing that can define you. Nothing that can limit you. Your record is not the end. It is the beginning. The beginning of a life that will leave rooms frozen, hearts racing, minds questioning how someone could rise so far, so fast, and so relentlessly. You need to understand this. The moment your name appeared, it wasn't just letters on a screen. It was a statement to yourself, to the world, and to everyone who ever doubted you. It was proof that every struggle, every sleepless night, every moment of sacrifice had a purpose. It was proof that the choices no one else would make, the choices that scared others into mediocrity, had created someone extraordinary. And when they froze, when they stared, when disbelief flickered across their faces, it was not just about you. It was about the truth that hard work, relentless persistence, and fearless determination cannot be ignored. Think of the silence that followed. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was heavy. It carried weight. It carried the echoes of your past, the echoes of every moment when no one watched, every moment when you felt invisible, every moment when you were doubted, dismissed, or underestimated. And yet, here you were, standing at the apex of that weight, not crushed by it, but strengthened, polished, sharpened by it. That silence was not theirs to break. It belonged to you. Every frozen gaze, every pause, every subtle intake of breath was a testament to what you had become. You didn't need to raise your voice. You didn't need to justify yourself. The record spoke for you, Wahasi you. louder than any words ever could. And here's the truth most people never understand. The world doesn't notice the effort it takes to rise. The world doesn't see the countless failures that pave the way for one success.